You know, they're gonna say, I didn't do that.
Are y'all paying anything in lease? You think that's fair?
Because we're a partnership. Deborah, this is what really upsets me, because this is what's going around. Well, Boys and Girls Club's in there for free. Well, no, Boys and Girls Club is not in there for free. Boys and Girls Club is in there as a partnership for the city. We were put in there for a reason, so the city can save money. They're not having to pay for a recreational director. They're not having to pay for the sports equipment. We're in there going ahead and making that facility what it was supposed to be able to offer those programs. If we weren't in there doing it, then the city would have to pay for that recreational director. It's a partnership. That's what it is. It's not a lessor-leasee agreement.
And how many kids do you have signed up in your summer program?
I did get those numbers for you guys. And we broke them all down for you. I went ahead and did the numbers from the summer of 2012 till this May. We've had 565 kids go through our program. 55% of those kids, which is an actual amount of 311 kids, are from Floresville. 11%, which is 63 children for this amount of time, are from Karn City. Lavernia is sending over 9.7%, which is the amount of 55 kids. Stockdale is 7%, which is an amount of 43 kids. Adkins is bringing over 5%, which is 29 kids. San Antonio, 14 kids at 2%. Kennedy is 16 kids at 2%. Poe, 13 kids. Falls City, 8 kids. And a total of Hobson, Runge, Panna Maria at an average together of 13 kids. Now, this doesn't come out to 100% because I probably didn't know how to do my percentage. That's why I put the actual numbers in the breakdown for you.
Can you tell me again when you're using that facility?
This summer, because we use it at different times, and that's another thing too. If we can schedule it, we could probably schedule it on regular days, you know what I mean? Where like, say, for Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday would be Boys and Girls Club night, and then not use it over the weekend, you know what I mean? And then the other days would be open for scheduling. Right now, we haven't done that. We have been just going in there and talking to Gloria and saying, well, what nights do you have open? And then we've been scheduling it that way. But I think it would be very less confusing, not only for you guys, but for anybody else, because they're gonna basically know, okay, well, you know, these nights are open for us to come in and schedule.
One of my issues is, you know, the oil field may call us up on Monday and they wanna do something Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and we cannot turn the money away.
I know that.
We can't.
I know that.
So having, you know, having the control of that, and you've already got something big planned, you know, I don't see how, you know.
But there's ways to do it, because like, there, you have the ballroom. And if this board can go ahead and break it down where they don't have to rent the whole ballroom at the ballroom expense, like if you did a wedding or something, you know what I mean? Or say if it was a business and they wanted only so many chairs go up, it would still be to your advantage, because you wouldn't be losing that money, because the likelihood of you renting it to a wedding or something on a Tuesday or a Thursday is not there.
But if we take a group who wants this room that we charge $50 an hour for, and we talk them into a room that we only charge $25 an hour for, we lost money.
Yes.
Yes, and we can't, that's the dilemma that we are faced with, because our light bill is $8,000 a month. And no reflection on anything, we cannot say, I'm sorry, you can't book this because we have this. We need these people to rent in the big rooms and pay the big money. We don't need to bump them from room 151 to room 103 and lose money. You see what I'm saying?
Well, the thing is they weren't really bumped. I mean, they requested, they said they didn't need that big of a room.
They didn't mind, but we had it, you know, it was booked for them for that. And then we say, well, we really have something else, somebody who's not paying anything,
Well,
to go and move them to a smaller room where we bring in less money.
I
Does that
guess
make
a
sense?
solution to that is for us to close down the summer program.
No, I'm not saying to close the summer program. We just have to look at it from, our plates are full also. And the task has been put on us by the summer of next year for this board, not the city, this board, to run that place and run it successfully. And I don't think any of us sitting here want to be failures. So we have to look at every aspect of this, and we have to make it work. I'm the last person that wants to hurt any child or any program or anything.
I know that, and I understand that, guys, and I understand your situation, but, I mean, like this summer, we're already rolling. So there's not gonna be a whole lot that we can do this summer. Next summer, we can take a look at it, but we have to, there's other suggestions we could use. I mean, maybe if, I don't know, it's just kind of hard because, you know, you've got the community center in one of the rooms up there. Really, it might be advantageous to look at the whole community center, because I had made a suggestion to Andy. You know, I said, if you move Gloria's office into the window and bump that wall out, you have a nice long room right there that you could go ahead and get big money for. The Girl Scouts, if the Girl Scouts came into our office and shared that office with us, I don't have a problem with it. And then your bus people could go into their office and you'd have that long room.
But you see, they have a lease with
They
us.
do, and they're paying.
And they
some.
pay.
Yes,
So-
so we're getting some revenue here.
From the Girl Scouts, yeah.
So we
Yeah.
can't bump anybody that's on a lease, or there again, we go knocking down a wall, construction, that's money that
More
we don't
expense.
have. So I mean, it all makes sense, but the bottom line is money.
Well, the only suggestion that I would have for this board then, if we're in your way and we're taking money away, then we don't have the summer program. I don't know what else to tell y'all. Because to be able to run that summer program effectively, the way it's been set up, we have to use the long room, because we don't have the room that was rented out to community, the community council anymore. The reading room, we could use that, but the long room, we're breaking up into 3 classrooms right now. And we're double using that because that's the only thing that we had available.
Could you not break sections of it in part of the ballroom?
We could, I wouldn't have a problem with that, but that hasn't been offered to us.
I think that I would like to suggest we do a real in-depth study of what we're doing here and see how we can mesh the two together. I do not want to do anything that would disturb some program, because I think it's very important for our kids. But I also am under the same obligation that Ms. Popham is and our board is. Would anyone like to develop a subcommittee to meet with Ms. Ball and really analyze the schedule and the opportunities, realizing we may not be able to do anything about it immediately, but and develop something that we can come up with for our mutual benefit? I think someone needs to really sit down and analyze the usage, the times, the things that we need to do, and do it fairly quickly so we can come up with something certain about the fall.
And what you're suggesting too, Bill, that's another reason why it would be advantage to this board to go ahead and have Boys and Girls, use Boys and Girls Club as their schedule, because we have to work closely with you guys on what we're doing. Why are you smiling and shaking your head?
Because
Yeah,
I know
you're
you'll bump the payers, because you're so loving your program, which you should, and me too. But Does that take Gloria's job away?
No.
No.
No, it does
Because
not.
one of the problems that, the reason why I wanted us to talk about is because Gloria is very stressed because.
It would take a lot of weight off of her shoulders because she can do everything that she can do that other side. And for her to handle the sports complex side too, trying to work everything out with us, it is putting added stress. And I did talk to her before I even mentioned it to anybody else about taking over the scheduling for that side, and she said that would be a godsend
She
for her.
did say that?
Yes, you can talk to her yourself.
Oh.
She said that she did not have a problem with that at all.
And would you charge us for that, or?
No, but you know what, Deborah, I know you and I have been acquaintances, and I know that you don't know me inside and out, but I am telling you, when I tell you that I'm going to do something, I do it, and I do it correctly. I am not going to take advantage of this board.
It's the way you approach this board, as if we're gonna lose something. I mean, it's, you pay nothing.
I'm
And
a
you
partner.
approach it, I feel like you're approaching this board, threatening. You know what I'm saying?
Explain, how do I feel, tell me how, give me an example of how I'm
Okay,
threatened.
well, you pay nothing, and you come in here, and I feel like, I don't feel like, I know that you do, it's like you have authority over there, and you're telling us what to do, and why we should do it. It's just, maybe I'm receiving it incorrectly, but it's very.
Well, how you're,
annoying.
let me just say this, I apologize to you if that's how you're receiving it, because that was not my intention on how to come across. And I'm sorry, Deborah, and I'm sorry that you have to laugh at me when I say these things to you. But, my understanding on what Boys and Girls Club is I don't define Boys and Girls Club, and maybe that's where you and I are on different pages. I don't define Boys and Girls Club as being there for free or for not paying anything. I look at Boys and Girls Club as a partner to the city. We're saving the city money by being there. That's why they asked us to be into this. This is why it was brought up to the voters. This is the same relationship that the city of San Antonio has with YMCA and Boys and Girls Club. If you talk to Faye Beard, she'll tell you the same thing. It's a partnership. We're not here free. We are giving services out to the community. We have a diversified sports program to the point of we allow kids to come in free of charge. There's no entity out there that allows that. We're out there working our tails off, making money to make sure these kids can come in there and we still can provide the same program.
And how does that pay your electricity bill?
It does not pay your electricity bill.
Well, that's what this board's about.
And I understand that, and that's why I'm saying it might be it might be to your advantage, instead of excluding me, to include me. And if you include me, then I am right here, and I can tell you what can work, and you can tell me what will work, and then we can come to a happy medium where both of us are on board and on the same page, and we're working together. Because the relationship that's here now is broken. You're feeling that I'm intimidating, or,
Fine.
yes, and that is not what I am about. That is not what I am trying to come across. I feel that you guys don't trust me, and that you feel that I'm here on a free ride, and I'm taking advantage of you, and I am not.
How are we gonna put money into the pot here for this? How is the Boys and Girls Club gonna advance to this?
As scheduler, because then I think we can have a more streamlined scheduling. Right now, there is so many nights that are open,
How are you gonna put money into our pockets?
by making sure that the scheduling is more streamlined.
But we make no money off of what you're scheduling. Like you're,
I'm not gonna charge you for scheduling
no,
like a
I don't
percentage.
mean that. I mean like your Tuesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, when you're there till 8, the lights are on, the air's running, that, how do we,
The air's running all the time there
Yeah.
anyway.
well, that's probably gonna be something
That's
that,
one of the problems we have.
can't
is
shut it off
we
because
can't
of
shut
that
it
gym
off because
floor.
of the floor. It has to be at 87 degrees or below.
The lights aren't your problem, it's the air conditioning,
Yeah,
and that's killing you.
don't curse with it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, so it's not, I mean, I shut all the air conditioning off in our offices, we don't need it 65 degrees in our office, it's way too cold in there, way too cold. And I had made the comment a long time ago to Gloria, I said, guys, if you would drop this down to 78 degrees, that would save you so much money, but I have a thermometer in my office and it's hitting 60 and 65 degrees, we're in there with sweaters. That's what's killing you, it's not the lights.
I think the issue here, Debbie, and, you know, not to put anybody on the defensive here, we are trying to find the best solution that we can to still be able to offer the community services that we can without having to turn away revenue.
Right.
Because everything I read in here said this is about booking events that streamline revenue.
What are you reading?
In the information that I was given, when I got on this board, you know, the venue of Floresville,
Who made that?
it was something that they put together.
The last council with Mayor Tejada?
Yeah, but that,
Okay, my point is, and the reason why I asked you if it was with Mayor Tejada, is because Mayor Tejada put that whole facility in not according to what was on the ballot.
well,
He
and
put it in
that's-
there as an event.
Well,
But
We've got what
regardless,
we
Debbie,
have.
but we do.
I
and we-
understand that.
We've got to do something to turn this around. Or like we keep saying, you're not gonna have a facility to have your Boys and Girls Club, because we're gonna have to shut it down. If we can't get this
So what are
turned
you guys
around.
after? I mean, put your cards out on the table. What are you guys
We
expecting?
need to come, we need
So
to have a
you,
compromise.
so what you're wanting is Boys and Girls Club to pay you for being in there?
No, we want you to compromise, Debbie, and work with us. When we have companies that come in and that are going to pay
Mhm.
to use the rooms,
Mhm.
to accommodate that.
And so how do you know that, how do you know that I'm not?
And it sounds like you are, but we're hearing from Gloria that she's turning away business because the rooms are booked.
Okay, I know, this is what's hurting Boys and Girls Club, because she's saying that, and this is what I'm trying to tell you. If you will allow me to come in and work with you directly, scheduling, I think you will find out that we don't have as many problems as you think you do. I will be directly, you'll be directly working with me. Am
would
I
like
not the
to
person in the
suggest-
way here?
I would
Am I?
like to suggest that we, I would like to, and I'll include myself, but I would like for another board member to volunteer to go out and find actual facts and numbers. We're having perceptions here,
Exactly.
and we're dealing with her perception, our perception,
Yes.
Gloria's perception,
Yes.
whatever. We need actual numbers and figures to back up any decision we make.
But Bill, how are you gonna do that when you're not there listening to Gloria on the phone, you don't know who she's turning away?
I think we can do it with a number of bookings, dates, times, and
She can start keeping track.
if we can start logging.
Mhm.
her calendar is pretty thorough, if anyone has ever
That's
looked at
right,
it.
yeah.
You know, she does a pretty good
And I
job of
think we need to look
scheduling.
at that and come, I am certainly not in the mood or have the notion of hurting Boys and Girls Club.
No.
I am not there, and I'm not gonna
I
go
don't
there.
think any of us are.
But I think we need to seriously think about how we're utilizing it. Maybe that is a position we need to look at. Maybe, or maybe we need to investigate other options. But I think we need to do it based on fact and rather than just perception of what, it's like the old elephant story, I'm feeling the ear and what it feels like a fan. I feel the tail, it feels like a snake. It's a different, it's a different perception, and we're all seeing different parts of this elephant here. And I think we need to get some true facts, and I think we need to sit down with Debbie And, I would like to be part of it, but I would also like to have another board member or someone else to help me, come up with facts and figures and so we can make a factual choice, not based on emotion or perception, based on facts, and what's going to be best for the building.
And may I add to that? I think that right now, it's Boys and Girls Club is right in the middle. It's the controversy between the board, this board, and the information that Gloria's having a hard time with Boys and Girls Club, the board's having a hard time with Boys and Girls Club. What are we gonna do with Boys and Girls Club? We need to make money, and they're there, and right now they're a burden. I'm saying, pull me in tight, bring me into the fold, and allow me to help you help yourselves. That's the best way. I'm sitting out there and everybody's going, well, you're not doing this, you're not doing this, and we need this, and we need that. I can't help you if I don't know exactly who's coming in, who needs what. I don't always know. It might be an after fact, or I might get half of the information when Gloria's talking to me. Like, for instance, the basketball guy. I could have gone ahead and worked that in where he had it that afternoon, but nobody knew the right questions to ask.
So you and Gloria don't communicate well out
Yes,
there?
we do, and we're very good friends, and I love her to death. But, you know, it would be like, I don't want to say anything negative,
Of course, of course.
okay? I don't want to say anything negative. She does the best job that she can. She is overwhelmed, I know that. I mean, just to look at her book. In fact, I did buy Gloria a present because I found her the type of book that she needs. The little squares is not working for her. She gets confused. So I got her, and this is a gift for her, I got her an appointment book that breaks it down by time. And I said, Gloria, I'm gonna find it. When I find that for you, then you'll have 7 o'clock, 2 lines. And you can go ahead and write it per line, so then she's not gonna get confused. Because, I mean, it's like, she went in there and she says, well, Debbie, I need, so-and-so's coming in and they wanna use the gym. But they need it at, I can't remember what time she told me. And she said, so I don't know what to do because so-and-so's coming in. And I said, well, so then I started asking her questions. When I started asking her questions, then I got the whole story, and I go, well, Gloria, why don't you do this? Why don't you call this one back? Find out if you can switch the time here. And I said, it'll all fall into place and it'll work perfect. So she did. But the thing is I can see this when she's had a long day and it's overwhelming.
Do you have a budget that the Boys and Girls Club put together to show your expenses, your revenue?
What I did for you guys is I got you, you can go online. This is our 990 in. So you'll know, and that shows that we are a nonprofit. It gives you the information with our EIN number. So we filed our income tax. And then I did go ahead and give you 2 samples of our budget that I had for the spring. And it shows you, that's a projected budget. Of course, we had more kids come in than that, and I haven't done my actual budget yet. But that is a projected budget for the spring and for the volleyball.
So $45 is what an average child pays?
For volleyball and for basketball. And then if they are.
It's 45 each or 45?
45 each. Yeah. And as you can see, soccer is more, it's $5 more. And then we should have down there, if the coaches come in, they get half price because they're volunteering to coach, so their kids come in for half price. And if we have any scholarships, if we have parents that come in and they can give us proof of free lunches, or they can give us proof of Medicaid, then all they have to do is pay a $10 membership, and that $10 membership fee pays for our liability insurance with Markel Insurance.
And we do this even for kids who aren't in our county, right?
Mm-hmm. And really, guys, we bring in a lot of people from out of the county in here, and like Karn City, they love coming up here because guess what's their favorite restaurant in town? The Thai restaurant. They love going and eating at that restaurant after they finish with their Boys and Girls Clubs. So this is a sales tax funded entity, and when you bring people in from out of the city and out of the county, they're coming in and they're spending their money here. So that just goes into your coffers.
Speaking of liability insurance, Rob Killen wanted me to remind the board that regardless of whether any organization uses the facility for free or pays a fee, that it's really important to get the entity to either sign a lease or at the very least a release of liability. Otherwise, the 4A is at risk, of a lawsuit in case a child gets hurt or, someone who is with the entity gets hurt.
We have them included, the city of Floresville and you guys are included on our insurance. Andy has that copy. I think we had it at $1 million. Yeah, I think it's
I
at
know
$1 million.
this contract asked for that.
Yes, and we have it. It was turned in when we first went in there, when we were first asked to come in.
Do I have any recommendations for the board?
I just would like for us to try to get something solved with it. We've been working on this specific issue since January, and unfortunately, nothing has been done whatsoever.
I would really like to sign a lease agreement
Yes,
where
that would be
we are scheduling over there where we have at least be able to sit down and be able to, because I don't have a problem if we're running that side of the event center, I don't have a problem with making sure that we hire the cleaning people, that we
I
take care
disagree
of
with,
that.
I'm gonna go ahead and just put this out right here
I do too.
because there's no reason to come back. I disagree with the scheduling, not because I don't trust you or anything else like that. We've got to keep our hand on it. One of the city employees that are being paid, we have to do it. Bill, I hope I'm not out of line, but I don't think that, allowing someone else to do our scheduling is beneficial to our center, to this board. I don't.
So what we're down to is that are we going to stay with our lease that we have put out there? Or are we gonna modify, or are we gonna ask them to modify, or what are we going to do with that current lease?
I think her only problems with the lease was the repairs.
Well, the problem is that we are sharing that facility with others, so anytime we're totally responsible for things that we break, the question is the other entities are going, well, I didn't do that.
But we're there every day.
And we're the only ones that sign it.
Like, we're there every day. Gloria's there every day. What's the little guy's name that moves the tables and
Andy.
chairs? He's there. So, if we leave and we come back and the door on the toilet wall or whatever, the purse hanger's broke, and there was an event that wasn't yours, well, then we, most likely.
But then how do we document it? How do we make sure?
Well, I would, that morning, I'm sure that we do like a check, like if,
Who's we?
our employees, okay. And that's something that we'll be happy to address.
Yeah.
If you rent a car, you do a walk around and you look at the bumper, you look at the windshield, you look inside, you make sure that this car is the way this paper says. If there's a ding in the door, you're gonna notate it, or you're gonna, that's a good source of business rental. I believe that Gloria knows the center out there enough to know that, this toilet seat was not broke or was broke or that kind of thing before you had an event, or, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I just think that that's something, that is very minor to the lease. Y'all break a light during a volleyball, you broke a light during a volleyball tournament. We know who's out there and we know what's going on. And I do believe each one of us as board members are working towards being a little more hands-on. We're all very busy, we all have jobs, but that is something that we have discussed and we want to do. during events, whether it's basketball, volleyball, a wedding, whatever, we wanna try to be more hands-on out there. So I definitely think, Bill, we've got to get a lease signed to cover ourselves. The city, Andy, they've put this together, and I, you know.
Well, another thing that I don't particularly care in there too is that, if we have if we have something going like the summer program, it gives you full authority to just bump us out.
If we have somebody that walks in to pay us money.
What do I do with my kids?
You know, we've got a lot of space, we've also got the park, we've got a pavilion, there's so many things that we, you know.
I know.
So you have to change your venue for that day. If we have somebody that comes in and wants to pay us, you know, $2,300 or $1,800 or $600, we can't, it just can't happen for us to turn money away to not receive
I
revenue.
understand that. I totally understand that, Melissa.
And
But
no-
on the other hand of that, the flip side of that is say for instance, somebody comes in and you've got your ballroom rented, they want the long room, and the only place to hold all of your programs would be in the gym, which you can't do because you can't mess up the gym floors, so you can't put anything going on there. So then we're told, because Gloria had mentioned, she says, well, you can go out to the patio. Well, you don't take kids in July and August and put them outside all day in the heat of the day and have your event out there. That's not what the parents signed up for. The parents signed up knowing that they're gonna have their programs in the event center.
But when you have events, aren't they gonna be scheduled X number of days and
Yes.
times for you to, you will be able to
Make adjustments.
make adjustments?
You know, if we call it a swimming pool day, or, you know, do something underneath the patio in the park. You know, that's a nice covered pavilion that, you know, I don't, you know, kids are kids, and you know, so it's July and it's hot, but, you know.
Yeah,
you're
except for
gonna-
my asthma kids, except for my kids that are in there with medical
So
forms.
maybe that's the day that they don't come.
Baby, I have a question. On the basketball court, you have to protect that, or whatever that court's called. If you've got, and I know you can't do anything on it except that, PG, but I was thinking, I don't know if it's possible or not, that you put some sort of roll out carpets or something and put your event in on.
I know the floor is very sensitive, so that's,
I was just
Sure.
trying to think of something to.
Floor is not only sensitive, it's expensive.
very, very.
The high school has a way, they do that sometimes, but, what you have, you almost have to cover it end to end, because people
Right.
have to walk to that area, and when you're dealing with children, they're gonna take here they go running off on their, you know, across, and, we would have, and that's gonna be a very large expense covering that floor from end to end. And it would be.
I just see this as being such a nightmare, guys. It's so hard to get everything set up, you know, and then if you have somebody come in 2 weeks and they're telling you, well, you need to move out of the long room, it's like, where am I gonna put all that stuff?
But aren't you gonna have a X amount of time to be able to adjust your resumes for that thing? Because there's gonna be something on those, correct? Like if something big came in, it was.
Well, you know,
correct?
I had mentioned to
You
her
have some time to.
that we schedule, you know, most of our large events are scheduled 3 to 6 months in advance.
Right.
If we allowed her to schedule like 30 days in advance, we would normally know if there was going to be a large item coming in during that period of time. And we could say yes or no. But then she would have enough time, especially dealing with local type things, that she could say, I've got the reasonable expectation this will work, and schedule. Now, if something happens, then it would be, you know, and we have a thing, that would be a time when we would have to sit down and work with her to reschedule or relocate the event, the venue. And I think that would help us some with the idea that there wouldn't be booking over the top of something. Because most of our large weddings, and things like that we have out there, are scheduled 3 and 4 months in advance.
Yeah, but we're not using.
We're not
all-
talking-
Right.
talking
I
about
think
rate.
Well, I'm
we're
not talking
talking
this-
more about like oil company meetings.
Well,
I'm
in
talking
the
about
long
oral,
run.
yeah,
Yes.
and things like that.
And they don't give.
And I would say what, maybe a couple of weeks in advance?
Yes, that's usually what they do.
About 2 weeks
Right.
is what is
But
average.
you see, that's, I mean, those oil companies, they're gonna pay. Pretty much, even when we raise these prices, I don't think that they're gonna blink an eye at that. And
You know, if we had an alternative, we don't even have to use the long room, but what's our alternative to the long room?
Well, and that's what we need to come up with and figure out, but just knowing that, you know, if are willing, you know, to move out of the room that we need to make revenue, we will try to come up with a comparable comparison.
I don't even have to be in the long room for the whole summer, but I need an alternative to go to do 3 classrooms. And then I'm already double loading those 3 classrooms. Because we're doing science in there, we're doing arts and crafts in there, we're doing our game room in there, we do movie day in there.
Well, to me, that sounds like could you set up stations, like I mentioned, in the ballroom?
Well, I can, but it's not that I always have the ballroom. I can do that now. If they wanted to do that's great, but the problem is that, like, for instance, the science experiment thing, all that stuff has to be moved. The game room, we have tables set up, we have what's that Skittles thing called, what's that? Thank you. The foosball table set up, we have ping pong tables set up. All, for us to move that's major, to move all of that stuff.
Has that happened yet, Deb, where you had to move?
No.
Okay.
I think all we're, and again, not to shut nothing down, not to hurt any child whatsoever, that is not what we're talking about. I just think that getting a lease signed and for you to agree to be flexible, if we get a venue that comes in that's gonna pay us money, you help us do whatever you can to relocate, and we will in turn help do everything that we can to make your stuff still successful. We just don't want to be in a position to where we have to turn revenue away.
It might have been better if we were never invited in there to start with.
I don't say that at all. I don't say that. I just say that we have to have something has to be workable.
We've got to have a compromise.
Compromise, that's what we're saying, Debbie.
I am,
That's all we're saying.
And I don't think that's too much to
And we
ask.
hear you, I hear what you're saying,
Mhm.
but I think we need a little time to see what's going on.
All right.
and come up with a
All right, I'll wait to
compromise.
see what you all have to propose. It's just so much work to get all this stuff going, and all I'm thinking is like, oh my gosh, you guys are giving me more work.
Well, and we're not trying to make it that way. I mean, we understand, and you are doing a very good thing here, and we, like I said, we're trying to, like Melissa said, we're trying to be accommodating, we are trying to work this out, but coming from the task that has been put on us, we've got to make revenue, and we cannot turn down companies that are willing to pay us.
For the use of the building.
Yeah.
My suggestion is still that we have
The committee.
a committee to sit down and do this very quickly for the next couple of weeks and come up with a solution to this. I might suggest, since that we make this a very short-term contract, if she's willing to sign a short-term contract, that we would look at it and come back with a new contract, let's say September 1st. And go from go with the contract we have now, and then come back in September with a new proposal.
I think there needs to be at least signed before the summer program starts.
Okay.
And if we want to
I'll
change
work with you guys.
the date, to be a short-term lease until we have the opportunity to do our research. My belief is that we need to come up with something that is acceptable. We're all gonna have to give something, we understand that. But we also understand that we want to do something for the kids. I remember back when I first moved to Floresville, the city manager would call people, coaches and teachers and whatever, and say, if we give you $250, would you coach summer tennis? My wife did that for about 5 or 6 years. And the city would provide money for the summer programs and things like that. But I know it's expensive to do it that way, and Boys and Girls Club does that for us. But would that be something you would be interested in, Debbie, signing
A short-term contract?
Short-term, going with this for a short term,
Mhm.
and let's say by September, let's say September 1st,
Yes,
then we would go a new agreement.
that's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
And in the meantime, we could get numbers, figures, and actual data on managing this.
So we're just gonna do some real simple little lease agreement.
I would suggest that we go with the one we have
Okay,
until September 1st. And just make the date,
change the
termination date
date.
to September 1st. And then we will, at that time,
See how it works.
hopefully have, I don't want to do something now that's drastically changes things, and then we wish we would, we hadn't done that. And come up with some solid information. That's what we did on the rental agreements, the pricing and things. We researched it, came up with something that we thought was equitable. And I think we owe Boys and Girls Club that opportunity to do the same thing.
Well, that gets us a lease through the summer program,
Mhm.
that gets her through this year, and then we can revisit.
Right.
All right.
Do I have a motion to offer that option?
I move that we have a short-term lease with the Boys and Girls Club with the termination date of September 1, 2013.
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor of continuing this lease agreement, offered until September 1st, say aye. And I'm unanimous with that. At this point, I show that we had a motion by Pullen, second by Pompey. I believe that's correct. And the vote was positive. So Debbie, what we're gonna do, we're gonna offer you the lease to sign as it is until September 1st. September 1st, by then, we'll come up with some better options.
No, yeah, more negotiations.
Right. And I would like to have anyone that would like to volunteer to be on the committee. I would like to appoint Ms. Groves because she's a coach that has coaching experience. And if she would, I'd like for her to kind of head that committee up.
Okay.
She knows gymnasiums and volleyballs and basketballs and all that stuff.
She speaks the lingo.
She does speak the
I was never
language.
a coach, but
Well,
it's okay.
Close enough.
I know her too well. I know she was a trainer for many years. And I would like to serve with her doing that, and anyone else that would like to volunteer. It doesn't, I would just like for her to kind of head up the, would you be willing to do that, Mr. Rhodes?
Yes, sir.
And I would like to assist you with that, and anyone else is welcome to join us. And
I'll be happy to help with it.
Thank you.
okay.
So I guess what, one of the things y'all are gonna need to do is, look at all of our scheduling and how we have things set up.
That's correct.
Okay.
And then we'll go back and look at our past scheduling and see how it can work and intermesh. And hopefully we can come up with some ideas and suggestions.
And if you could submit us, Debbie, with the calendar of events of stuff that you've got going on, that would be great for us to know also.
What I'll do is I can go ahead and work up well, I already have a calendar of events that I turned into Gloria, but I'll go ahead and do something.
If you could maybe
More
forward that to
detail.
one of us,
Yes.
and then we will be happy to pass it around to the others.
Yeah. And you want it just for the summer program, or do you want it for summer, spring, and fall? Because I try to go ahead and
I
get,
think we need to look at the whole
The whole
year.
picture, yes.
okay, the whole year that passed or the whole year coming?
Well,
Because
the
we're gonna.
past will give us a guideline
I think-
as to what's coming.
Yes.
Well, that's why I said in the past, we just kind of went up there and looked for openings, because my suggestion is if Boys and Girls Club just has set days, I think it would be easier
That
to
might be-
schedule stuff like that.
Well, that's why I asked you a while ago, what are you using, how are you using it now, and what do you see using in the fall?
Well,
You can get that to us.
yes, I can get you that. I can give you, you want projected usage for the fall and the spring. I can do
On your
that.
calendar, like, don't you do a couple of adult things?
The only time we're gonna do the adult volleyball is in January, because nobody is using the gym then. It didn't work out. I went ahead and canceled the class. I didn't have enough show up, so that's fine. That's less work for me.
Okay, then I'll let Ms. Rhodes, head up that committee, and we can all participate if we want to, as much as we want. But I think she will be the focal point of the.
And I'll show you the detailed schedule of the summer program, so, because I usually have it broke down for every class, where we're at and what room we're in, so you'll see what we're exactly doing, okay?
Okay, thank you, Ms.
All right,
Ball.
I'm sorry that I took so much of your time.
That's all right. Next item, I'm going to,
Bye.
Maybe we could take like a 2-minute recess.
yes.
Yes.
I'm gonna say we're gonna take a recess of 5 minutes, and we'll be back here at 20 after.
She has the attitude of the last 5 minutes, she's gonna want further. And I don't think that's that.
My feet stand this much longer.
Okay, Deborah Conlon. If someone tries to intimidate me, it just makes me push